You ever try to pick a horror movie for date night and realize halfway through that a lot of them are either just way too gross, way too depressing, too over the top, or just not the right vibe that you're looking for with someone sitting next to you on the couch that you're trying to get close to? Well, tonight we're going to fix that because this is a list of horror movies that actually work for date night. Some are a little romantic, some are a little funny, some are a little cozy, and some are a little naughty and unhinged. But all of them are perfect to watch when you have someone next to you and the lights go down and the popcorn is ready. I've got a mix of big crowd pleasers, cult classics, and a couple of deeper cuts because we're not just about playing the hits that anybody can think of. You need something to keep it fresh, and I've got it for you right here. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so movies perfect for date night. These aren't necessarily ranked, although I think number one, it probably deserves to be number one. But coming in first on the list is Ready or Not. Now, this one's getting a sequel, so you could watch this together and you could plan a date night at the movie theater as well. You have a newlywed bride who marries into a ridiculously wealthy family, only to learn that their wedding night tradition involves hunting her through the mansion until sunrise. Samara Weaving absolutely steals this movie, despite the fact you got Adam Brody, Andy McDowell, a great supporting cast in this movie. Why does it work for date night? Well, it's very fast paced, it's funny, very entertaining. There's horror, but it never gets too bleak, and it's basically a twisted relationship movie about surviving marriage, I guess you could say. Also, it's the kind of movie where you and your partner will consistently look at each other and go, yeah, we totally survived this. Like, totally. Yeah, Ready or Not, here it comes. It comes in at number 10. Now, at number 9, we want to slow it down a little bit, get you a little bit closer. And we're going to do that with 1980's The Fog. I mean, you got John Carpenter, a coastal town, glowing fog, little rainy streets reflecting ghost pirates, the ocean waves, all that stuff. You got the late night sexy voiced FM DJ. And this one stars Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Atkins, a trifecta of horror royalty, and it is pure cozy horror. This is a candlelight movie, a blanket movie, a rain outside, snuggle up together movie. Plot-wise, a seaside town is hunted and haunted by vengeful spirits rising from the fog on one night when it comes in from the ocean. And of course, I'm not going to spoil the reason why if you've never seen it by now. Shame on you. But it is simple, atmospheric, absolutely perfect old school ghost telling and ghost storytelling, and that's what makes it so cool, and that's why it's for couples. Spooky without being overwhelming. It has warm 80s kind of analog vibe to it in some ways. The FM DJ late night, I just love that trope. Like it back in the day with Delilah on, it kind of adds a sexiness, a mysteriousness to it. It's one of the biggest snuggle on the couch horror movies ever made, so it had to be on this list. The Fog comes in at number 9. Now, you can't do a list like this that involves dates and romance and stuff without some vampire movies. Well, how about a very cool vampire movie? Near Dark. This one is one of the coolest vampire movies ever made. You got Lost Boys over there. There's some different ones, all right? But this one's directed by Catherine Bigelow. It stars Adrian Pastar, Jenny Wright, and a whole crew of absolute scene-stealing vampires that includes Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen. If you need to know other reason, there you go, those two guys, there you go. The plot is a small town guy falls for a mysterious, beautiful girl who turns out to be part of a roaming gang of vampires. It's romantic, for sure. It feels a little like a neo-noir Western. Gritty, wonderfully beautiful nightscapes, sunsetscapes, and that's kind of why it works for date night. It's a love story wrapped up in a vampire road movie. Great music, great atmosphere, and it has just enough action to keep things exciting without becoming exhausting. Perfect to watch together near dark. Now for the next one, I promised you some deep cuts. And Near Dark may be a deep cut for some of you. I get it. Everybody's deep cuts are different, but I don't want this just to be about the hits. I want to bring you things that maybe you haven't seen that might fit the perfect mood one night. And that's where I'm going to go with 1987's Night Screams. This is for the deep cut crowd for sure. Night Screams is a low budget, late 80s horror kind of regional oddity that's set in a small town where you have a football player, you have some escaped people. I don't want to spoil too much, but you have a group of teenagers who are having parties while their parents are out of town. You got those interpersonal relationships there. You have the romance between the lead guy and the lead girl. You have an appearance by Ron Thomas of the Karate Kid, one of the Cobra Kai. Yes, that is him. And they're all in this party together at their house after the initial setup, where you see two guys have escaped and they have some issues with the parents and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. That's fine. It gets to this situation where you're in the house and it becomes then sort of a teen romance with horror happening. And of course, they're all about to go to college, so they're not, really young. But it's not long until people start dropping one by one in here. And you'll see, besides Ron Thomas, you'll see a couple other faces like, hey, I know that guy. It's one of those movies. It also has become a favorite on physical media thanks to Vinegar Syndrome dropping a beautiful 4K of this movie. Talk about saving films. It is a perfect sort of late night watch, not to take too seriously, something you'll talk about afterwards. You can move on maybe to a bigger film after that. It's scrappy, it's unpredictable, perfect for a let me show you something you've never seen before vibe on date night. Night Screams had to be on the list for a deep cut. Now, number 6 is one that I may take a little heat on because I have gone with the remake and not the original. That is My Bloody Valentine from 2009. It's a fun date night slasher, a remake of an 80s movie, but updated because you have a big cast in this one. You got Jensen Ackles of Supernatural leading this thing, but you also have Tom Atkins in here. It's a slick, modern slasher vibe remake, a little mean-spirited, but not overly so. You're going to see a lot of skin. You're going to see everything is love-based because it's Valentine's Day, right? All that kind of stuff. Lots of skin in this movie, so it's going to give a different kind of sexy, scary vibe along here. A small-town killer in a mask, a miner's mask, Valentine's Day murders. It works for couples, especially around this time of year, seasonal for Valentine's Day. It's fast, a little gory, but not miserable. It's more fun. It's more lighthearted. When you have actresses running around completely nude and from the killer, and it's just ridiculous fun. And if you're watching this around February, like now, it's kind of romantically mandatory. If you're, to watch this and the original My Bloody Valentine, check them out. It comes in at number 6. Now, at number 5, I said we'd have some big crowd pleasers, and this is one. It's 1996's Scream. You knew it was coming because it's an easy sell. It's classic. It's fun. Even if your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, if they don't like horror, they can get behind watching Scream. Teenagers, phone calls, Ghostface, Drew Barrymore, Wes Craven masterpiece, Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, Matthew Lillard. I mean, you got people everywhere. Skeet Ulrich, it's all over the place. Easy sell. And you can't forget David Arquette. Dewey. This movie is basically a horror movie about relationships and movie nights. It's a horror movie about Watching horror movies on your date is so perfect for this, very meta. That's why it's perfect for date night. Funny, nostalgic, endlessly rewatchable, and it's one of those movies that everyone can agree on. It's a crowd pleaser. You'll have no trouble talking your significant other into this one for date night. Scream. Now, at number 4, we're going to go a little funny, and one that maybe you missed. Maybe some of you hardcore horror fans have seen it, but you don't need to be a hardcore horror fan for this one. It's perfect for date night because of it. I am talking about Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Two lovable hillbillies trying to fix up their vacation cabin. And then everything goes wrong. While, you got a group of college kids who encounter Tucker and Dale and keep getting themselves killed. I don't want to say how, but it's just sort of a chain of events kind of a thing. And that's what makes the movie hilarious. Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine in this are fantastic. I mean, straight fun. You got Katrina, I always forget her name, in this movie. It's funny because I worked with her on a movie, American Reunion. Katrina Bowden. There you go. Sorry, Katrina. This movie is hilarious, like genuinely laugh out loud funny. Like, even if you're not a horror fan, you're going to enjoy this movie. And that's why it works for couples. It's horror and kind of horror adjacent fun at the same time. Just super fun. Great if, like, one of the two of you don't love hardcore horror, but you want to get in a little spooky vibes and have some fun. It's just, and you got a romance there kind of between Tyler Labine and Katrina Bowden in here. It's just a good time from start till finish. That's kind of what you're looking for on a date night. So I highly recommend Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Now, number 3 is one that I have never talked about on the channel before, which is odd because I actually really like this movie, and I don't like a lot of modern horror films, although this one is about 13 years old now. It's 2013's Warm Bodies. You got a zombie romance, and I'm not even a big zombie movie guy, and I like this, so this should be a pretty easy sell. Zombie romance that somehow works. Nicholas Hoult, who's become way more famous since then, plays a zombie who falls in love with a human girl during the apocalypse. It's sweet. It's funny. It's got a Romeo and Juliet kind of vibe. She's even talking to him from a balcony in parts of this stuff. It's why it's perfect for date night. It's basically a rom-com with zombies. But the zombies are not like over the top. I could put Zombieland here too. That could be fun. A little more gory. Doesn't have the romance quite the same as this movie does, at least not at the center. This one is light, charming, easy to watch together. Warm Bodies, perfect. You'll dig this one if you watch it together. It comes in at number 3. Now, number 2 is one, admittedly, I talk about every now and then, variety of different lists. It just checks boxes, and it's one of my favorites. It also happens to check the box of being absolutely perfect for date night for a couple, and that's 1985's Fright Night. A teenager discovers his suave, cool new neighbor is in fact a vampire, and nobody believes him. And that's where the fun comes in with Chris Sarandon, who, as Jerry Dandridge, who is that cool vampire, and he actually gives, in my opinion, one of the best vampire performances ever. He's suave, cool, he brings that sexiness, he brings the toughness, but just his look, he actually brings a little levity to it, but there's a sinister seriousness behind him that makes you afraid of him in the movie. I think it's a perfect needle that he threads in this film. You also have Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent in this movie, a washed-up horror TV show host that helps hunt down kind of the Van Helsing character. It's iconic of a role for him. So much fun. The movie's sexy because Jerry Dandridge is trying to seduce, I can think of the dude's name from Herman's Head every time he played Herman's Head later on. He's trying to seduce the girlfriend, the boyfriend's trying to get into her pants. If you just kind of boil it down to the nitty gritty here, and that's why it works, because it's got a great mix of kind of sexy, fun, small town vibes, all that kind of stuff. Horror, romance, great practical effects. It's just fun. It's super rewatchable. I'm talking infinitely rewatchable. And it's got that classic, let's watch this together on the couch vibe. Perfect. Fright Night, absolutely just a blast. It comes in at number 2. And for number 1, we got to go back to the fangs one more time for the ultimate date night, sexy, sensual, epic horror romance movie for date night. There is no question. It is Bram Stoker's Dracula. And you've got Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, who I love very much. I don't care about his accent. You guys can laugh and have fun with it while you watch. I love him as a person and an actor. I don't care. But the movie is lush. Francis Ford Coppola going over the top, romantic, tragic, visually absolutely stunning. Everything done in camera. Forget the CGI. But it's also ultimately a love story, an epic, timeless love story, and a monster movie, one of the most beautiful horror films ever made. And that's why it's the ultimate date night horror movie. It's passionate, it's dramatic, it's gorgeous to look at, and it feels like an event movie, even when you're just sitting on your couch watching it together. Perfect chef's kiss of a date night movie. Bram Stoker's Dracula comes in at number 1. All right, so there are 10 movies, horror films, that actually work for date night for couples. Yeah, not date night by yourself. I know some of you guys out there. Some of these are cozy, some are funny, some are romantic, some are a little wild, but all of them are perfect to throw on when you're watching with someone and you want to have a great night. That's all that really matters. Now I want to know from you, what are some of your date night go-to horror movies? Something that you've watched with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, that worked. I mean, who knows? If I do another list, maybe it'll pop on there. And if you're into horror, cult films, physical media, movie nostalgia, filmmaking, past 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, holiday nostalgia, all that stuff, deep dive film essays, big looks at movies and filmmaking, all that stuff, we do it all here. So make sure you are subscribed to AV Pop Culture. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to help a little bit more support the channel, you can join my Patreon. The link is always in the description. And you'll get your name in lights on every video, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, and so much more. And it all helps the channel. I'll try to link down there where you can find these movies on physical media or streaming or anything else if I can. And I hope you will enjoy them. Let me know if you check them out. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.